Dear beloved brothers and sisters, have you ever had a moment in life, quiet and unexpected, where you cross paths with someone and suddenly, without any warning, something shifts inside you? It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just calm. There's a gentle stillness in your heart, a sense of peace that you can't explain. It's as if your soul softly whispers, "This person, they're different, they matter." You don't even know why you feel it. You can't explain it in words. But somewhere deep in your heart, it feels like your soul already knew them. Like they were part of your story long before you even met. They make you smile without trying. They bring peace to your thoughts. They make you imagine futures you hadn't dared to think about before. But just as quickly as that feeling comes, reality steps in. Suddenly, you're looking at your life, their life, and all the pieces that just don't seem to fit. You notice the obstacles. The timing feels completely wrong. Maybe you're still carrying wounds from the past. Maybe they're healing from something too. Maybe your lives are just too far apart, pulled in different directions by responsibilities, circumstances, or destiny. And it hurts because something that felt so right now feels impossible. But even through that confusion, there's a part of you, small, quiet, but unshakable, that believes this meeting wasn't random. It wasn't just a coincidence. Could it be that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, placed this person in your life for a reason? Even if it's not the right time. What if it's still the perfect moment in Allah's divine plan? In this video, we're going to explore something deeply personal, something many of us silently struggle with. What does it mean when you meet the right person at the wrong time? And more importantly, what are the signs that Allah is working behind the scenes in ways we don't yet understand? We're going to walk through 5 powerful things that Allah may be doing when your heart connects with someone. But life doesn't allow it to bloom just yet. Each one of these 5 is not just a reason. It's a lesson. It's a mercy. And maybe, just maybe, it's a sign that what you call bad timing is actually Allah's perfect timing. So let's take this journey together. Let's open our hearts. Let's understand what divine love and divine timing really mean. Number 1, Allah protects what you're not ready to handle. Yet, dear brothers and sisters, let's begin with a truth that carries immense comfort, even when we're struggling to understand it. And Allah knows while you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah. Take a moment and breathe that in. Let it echo inside your heart. You see, in this life, we often move forward with hopes, dreams, and ideas of what's best for us. We have plans. We think we're ready. We think we understand our hearts. But then something happens. We meet someone, unexpected, unplanned, and suddenly they feel like home. There's a calmness in their presence, a stillness in your heart that you didn't even know you were craving. Their words are comforting. Their vibe feels safe. And in that short span of time, you start seeing them in your future. You begin to think, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the soul Allah has written for me. But then everything pauses. Things stop moving forward. Doors that once seemed open are now closed. The connection weakens, communication fades, and you're left with silence where once there was hope. And in that silence, your heart aches. You cry in sujood, asking Allah with trembling sincerity, "Ya Allah, why now? Why would you allow my heart to feel so much, only for it to be taken away?" But what if what you're seeing as heartbreak is actually a shield? What if this moment This painful, confusing, heavy pause is not a rejection from Allah, but a divine protection. Sometimes, dear soul, we are not yet whole. We're still bleeding from wounds we never treated, still recovering from trials we never fully understood, still trying to rediscover our purpose. And love, beautiful as it is, can become overwhelming when it enters a heart that hasn't healed. It can pull you away from Allah. It can cloud your wisdom. It can convince you to chase the creation, forgetting the Creator. So in His infinite mercy, not His anger, Allah steps in. He places distance. He pauses the journey, not to punish you, but to protect you. He sees what you can't see. He knows what your heart is still too fragile to hold. And so, when something doesn't work out, even when it feels perfect, it's not because you were wrong to love. It's because Allah knows what that love could do to you right now. He's shaping your character, strengthening your faith, refining your heart. And sometimes the kindest thing He can do is delay what you think you're ready for, because what is rushed can break, but what is prepared by Allah will last. And so when that moment comes, when the person you care for drifts away, when the plans fall apart, when the love is held at a distance, don't think it's the end. It may just be the beginning of your spiritual transformation. This delay, it's not a denial. It's Allah gently saying, "Not yet, my servant, not yet." He's not turning you away. He's preparing your heart to hold love with strength, not weakness, to walk toward marriage with clarity, not confusion, to enter the next phase of your life with stability, not desperation. So if you're sitting in that painful waiting period right now, feeling the emptiness left by someone's absence, pause and reflect. Maybe they weren't removed. Maybe they were preserved for a version of you that hasn't been born yet. And maybe this time apart is not distance, but divine alignment. You're being saved from something premature, protected from a love that might have distracted you, and being slowly, lovingly shaped into someone who is ready not just to love, but to love right. Because when Allah writes your love story, He doesn't rush the chapters. He writes with wisdom, with mercy, and with perfect timing. Transition, when distance becomes a mirror for your soul. And then, when you're pulled away from someone you care about deeply, when you stop hearing their voice, when your nights feel quieter and your du'as feel heavier, something begins to shift inside of you. Your heart starts whispering questions you never dared to ask. Do I want this person more than I want closeness to Allah? Is this about love or fear of loneliness? Was I seeing them as a gift or turning them into my purpose? These questions are not weaknesses. They are signs. Signs that Allah is beginning to purify your intentions. Because when He separates you from someone, when that person disappears from your day-to-day life, it's not always because they were harmful. Sometimes it's because your heart was holding them for the wrong reason. And Allah loves you too much to let you build your life on shaky intentions. So He gives you a pause. He gives you space. He gives you silence. Not to hurt you, but to help you hear again. In the stillness of that separation, your heart starts to awaken. You begin praying not for someone to return, but for Allah to guide you to what is best. You begin making dua not to change Qadr, but to accept it with grace. You stop chasing love and start chasing nearness to Him. This is where the real transformation begins. Number 2, Allah uses the separation to purify intentions. Separation is one of the most painful kinds of tests. It's not loud. It doesn't come with explosions or betrayal. It comes quietly, like a gentle door closing without warning. One moment there is connection, hope, laughter, late-night du'as whispered with their name, and the next, silence. And in that silence, you feel the ache, not just of missing someone, but of not understanding why they were placed in your life at all. You ask Allah, why did you let my heart attach? Why would you let me feel so deeply, only for them to leave? Wasn't this supposed to be something meaningful? And the pain deepens. Because you're not just mourning the person, you're mourning the possibility of what could have been. But dear soul, what if that disconnection is not a mistake? What if it's not the end, but a beginning? What if Allah, in His divine compassion, allowed that person to enter your life, not to complete your story, but to purify your heart? Sometimes when we fall for someone, especially when it feels sudden and sincere, we begin to build dreams. We imagine futures. We start defining our prayers based on a single person, and slowly, without noticing, the focus shifts. The heart begins to attach, not just out of love, but out of need. That's when Allah steps in, not to punish you, but to rescue you. Because what starts from sincerity can quietly turn into dependence. What began as a blessing can evolve into a distraction. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, said, "Indeed, actions are judged by intentions." Bukhari and Muslim. This hadith isn't just a reminder, it's a mirror. It invites us to go deep into our hearts and ask, am I making dua for this person because they are good for my deen, or because I'm afraid of losing them? Do I truly want what is best according to Allah, or am I just terrified of being alone again? You see, Allah doesn't want to give you love that competes with your worship. He wants to give you love that supports it, that grows it, that reminds you of Him. So when He places space between you and the person you long for, that distance isn't always a loss. Sometimes it's a divine recalibration. It's Allah turning your face back to Him. He pulls you away from the creation so you can look back to the Creator. And in that space, something sacred begins to unfold. You start praying again, but this time, not out of desperation, not with a bargain, but with sincerity. Your du'as shift from, please bring them back, to, Ya Allah, if this is good for me, bring it with ease. And if it's not, please take it away with peace. That's purification. That's what it means to submit your heart to Allah, not just your actions. And with time, something even more beautiful happens. The love you had matures. It softens. It stops demanding. It stops clinging. It stops trying to control what only Allah can decide. You begin to understand that love is not about possession. It's about trust. Trust in Allah's knowledge. Trust in His plan. Trust that what is written for you will reach you when your heart is ready, not just when it's eager. And suddenly, your attachment transforms into something healthier. You don't love someone because they make you feel less lonely. You love with the understanding that if they are meant for your path, they will return, guided, preserved, and aligned by Allah. And if not, then you trust that what's coming is better. Because now, your heart is not tied to a person. It is tied to your Lord. That's the kind of heart that is ready to receive love without being enslaved by it. So when you feel the ache of separation, when you're tempted to beg Allah for a specific outcome, pause. Remember that this is your moment. your sacred opportunity to let Allah cleanse your intentions until your love becomes pure, unselfish, and rooted in faith. It is in this phase, this silence, that He is preparing you. Because when love returns, whether it's the same person or someone completely new, you will receive it with clarity, not confusion, with peace, not panic, with trust, not fear, and most importantly, you will receive it with a heart that no longer worships love, but worships Allah first. And that, dear soul, is the kind of love worth waiting for. Number 3, Allah builds you before He unites you. There's a question that echoes in the hearts of so many people. It comes in soft moments and sleepless nights. It shows up when love feels real, but slips away. Why? Why did I meet someone who felt so special, so rare, so deeply connected to my heart, if I wasn't meant to be with them? It's a question soaked in quiet tears, silent prayers, and unspoken heartbreak. It's not just a question about a person. It's a question about purpose. And the answer, dear soul, may be far deeper than you've imagined. Sometimes, Allah places someone in your life not to stay forever, but to wake you up, to show you something about yourself that you never saw before, to teach you before He unites you. That person may not be your destination. They might be your mirror. Their presence reveals parts of you that were hidden, beneath your smile, beneath your confidence, beneath your daily routine. Through them, you begin to see your own reflections. Insecurities you thought you had buried. Impatience you never noticed. Fears you haven't faced. Hopes you haven't admitted. And wounds you never gave yourself permission to heal. And it's not their fault. They didn't cause these things. They simply reflected them. And in that moment, Allah gives you clarity. There's still work to be done within you. Just like a builder can't place a roof on a house with a cracked foundation. Allah will not give you a sacred union when your inner self is not ready to sustain it. Because marriage is not just about love. It's about strength. It's about responsibility. It's about spiritual compatibility and emotional maturity. A relationship based only on feelings can crumble in the face of reality. But a relationship built on understanding, patience, discipline, and tawakkul, trust in Allah, can withstand the storms of life. And so, Allah pauses your story, not to deny you what you desire, but to build you into someone who can handle what you desire. The Quran reminds us with deep wisdom, good men are for good women, and good women are for good men. Surah An-Nur 24:26. This is not a casual statement. It's a divine formula. Pure hearts are not randomly thrown together. They are carefully prepared, sculpted through patience and tests, and brought together by Allah when the time is right. So if you've met someone who felt perfect, but it didn't last, don't fall into despair. Don't start thinking, I lost my only chance. Because in Allah's plan, there is no such thing as a missed opportunity, only a misunderstood lesson. Maybe that person came into your life not to be your future, but to prepare you for it. Maybe they were sent to remind you that there are still parts of your soul that need healing, that your relationship with Allah needs to be deepened, that your character still has room to grow, that your trust in Qadr still needs strengthening. And so, instead of saying, I want to be with them, you begin to say, I want to become the kind of person who is ready for what Allah has written for me. That's where everything changes. You stop clinging to someone's name and you start anchoring yourself in Allah's name. You stop obsessing over timelines, and you start focusing on your personal growth. You don't just work on yourself to impress someone. You work on yourself because you now understand what love really demands. Patience in communication, wisdom in choices, forgiveness when it's hard, prayer when you're tempted to worry. A heart that can hold another without crushing them. This is the journey Allah puts you on, not to delay your blessings, but to prepare you to receive them in the right state. So instead of just preparing for a relationship, you prepare for a bond that is built on love and faith, one that strengthens your deen, one that helps you grow closer to Allah, not further away. Because in Islam, love is not just about feeling good, it's about becoming good together. It's about holding hands on earth while guiding each other toward Jannah. That's why when you meet someone who feels right, but things don't move forward, don't panic. Don't try to force it. Don't beg or plead for it to return. Instead, ask, what is Allah showing me about myself through this test? What am I being called to work on, to reflect on, to build within me? Maybe Allah is making you wait because He's making you ready. He's not delaying love. He's refining it. He's making sure that when it finally arrives, it's the kind that lasts because it's built on something greater than emotion. It's built on faith. Number 4, Allah tests you with patience, not just pain. One of the most delicate soul-stretching tests in life is not when you lose someone, but when someone is close enough to touch your heart, yet just out of reach to hold on to. You feel that emotional pull. You see how beautifully they fit into your life. You recognize the connection, genuine, peaceful, real. And still, it doesn't happen. Not because the love wasn't pure, not because the intentions were wrong, but because the timing isn't right. And that, dear soul, is one of the most painful forms of patience you'll ever experience. Your heart wants to run forward, but your reality tells you to stop. Your emotions whisper, they're the one. But your circumstances say, not now. It's not just emotional confusion. It's a spiritual test. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, gave us a priceless truth. Know that victory comes with patience, and relief comes with difficulty. Tirmidhi. These aren't just words to soothe us. They are a divine reminder. Within every hardship is a greater reward. But to reach that reward, you must walk through the valley of Sabr, of patient endurance. And Sabr isn't passive. It's not sitting around hoping something changes. It's not numbing your pain or pretending you don't care. Real Sabr is active. It's alive. It's purposeful. True patience means you don't chase someone who's not running toward you. You don't beg Allah for something you're not prepared to receive. You don't let your emotions override your values. You don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone Allah is asking you to release for now. Because sometimes Allah removes someone from your path, not forever, but for a season of growth. You're not being punished. You're being tested, not just in love, but in obedience, restraint, and faith. It's easy to say you trust Allah when life feels aligned. But what about when it doesn't? When you're crying at night, wondering why someone who felt like a blessing suddenly became a memory. That's when your heart is being trained, refined, softened, but not broken. Real patience is not about sitting still. It's about standing tall, with your heart surrendered to Allah, even when your dreams feel out of reach. You start reminding yourself, if Allah delayed it, It's for a reason I cannot yet see. If it's written for me, no distance or delay can erase it. That mindset, that faith, is where transformation begins. You stop measuring love by how fast it happens. You start measuring it by how deeply it grows within you. This waiting period, no matter how painful, is not a punishment. It's preparation. You are being called to grow stronger in your relationship with Allah, to deepen your reliance on Him, to mature your emotions, to purify your intentions. This test is shaping you. It's teaching you how to love someone without making them your entire world. It's teaching you how to care deeply without compromising your dignity. It's teaching you how to hope while surrendering every outcome to Allah. So ask yourself, are you using this time to get closer to the one who created your heart? Are you building a version of yourself that's worthy of the kind of love you're praying for? Or are you letting this delay turn into despair? Every time your heart wants to rush into action, Sabr tells you, pause, trust, let Allah lead. Every time you want to hold on tighter, Tawakkul tells you, release. Allah is enough. You are not just waiting for someone to return. You are learning how to stand in stillness without falling apart. You are discovering how to love without clinging, how to let go without losing hope, and how to place your Lord above your longing. This season of waiting is sacred. It is filled with lessons that no book can teach. It is filled with growth that no comfort zone can offer. It is not a delay. It is divine direction. So if it feels like life is holding you back, know this. Allah is not withholding love from you. He is withholding it until you are ready to receive it without it replacing Him. You're not being forgotten. You're being fortified. And what comes after this kind of Sabr isn't just a love story. It's a faith story. One that ends not just in companionship on earth, but in nearness to Allah. And, inshallah, in Jannah. Number 5. Allah writes the ending that brings you back to Him. There are moments in life when your heart feels full of hope. When someone enters your world and suddenly the way you see your future changes. You start imagining shared dreams. You make sincere du'as. You put in the effort, the care, the love. You stay patient. You keep believing. You hold on because everything in your heart is telling you, this is the one. But then, it doesn't work out. The person you thought would stay drifts away. The connection fades like a sunset you weren't ready for. The timing refuses to shift. And suddenly, you're standing in the silence of what could have been. And it hurts in a way only Allah understands. You begin to question everything. Did I misread the signs? Did I pray wrong? Wasn't this person meant to be part of my Qadr? But here's a truth that your heart needs to hear, especially when it feels broken. Just because something ended doesn't mean it wasn't part of Allah's perfect plan. Just because a person didn't stay doesn't mean Allah made a mistake. In fact, the ending may be the very thing that brings you back to the one who never leaves. It's not always about what you were supposed to receive. Sometimes it's about what you were meant to realize. Allah says in the Quran, but perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you. And perhaps you love a thing, and it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2216. You may not understand it now. You may not see the wisdom behind the separation. You may still feel like something precious was taken away from you. But Allah sees what you cannot. He protects you from what you cannot perceive. He rearranges your life, not to harm you, but to heal you. Not to break your spirit, but to bring your heart back to its true home, Him. There are two ways every love story written by Allah can unfold. Sometimes the person comes back when the time is right and when both hearts are ready in the way only Allah knows. And sometimes someone else enters your life. Someone who aligns not just with your heart, but with your purpose, your deen, your soul. But either way, you do not lose, because in Allah's plan, there is no such thing as failure when your heart is sincere. There is only growth, only mercy, only divine redirection. You see, this was never just about them. It was about you, who you became while loving them, who you became while letting go, who you became when the only one left to turn to was Allah. And what a beautiful moment that is. When the pain finally pushes you into sujood, when the silence of their absence turns into the sound of your du'as, when the space they once filled becomes the space where Allah begins to heal you. Sometimes we believe we need a person to feel whole, but through endings, Allah gently reminds us, you only need me. He clears out the people who block your growth. He removes the names you wrote into your plans so He can write something better, something more peaceful, more stable, more guided. So whether your ending was a painful goodbye or a silent drift, whether it came through unanswered messages or unanswered du'as, remember this: you did not lose, because in the process, you found something greater. You found clarity. You found lessons. You found strength you didn't know you had. You found the one who never leaves, Allah. And that is not just an ending. That is a divine beginning. Because meeting the right person at the wrong time is not the end of your story. It's just one chapter in a book written by the most merciful. Sometimes, Allah removes someone, not to punish you, but to prepare you for something higher. Sometimes, He delays what you long for, not to hurt you, but to give it to you when your heart is strong enough to carry it. And sometimes He closes the door you were sure was meant for you. Because what's waiting behind the next one is more beautiful than you ever imagined. This waiting, this letting go, this season of quiet Sabr, it's not empty time. It's preparation. It's redirection. It's love from the one who knows your soul even better than you do. So even if you're hurting, even if things feel unresolved, unfinished, unclear, trust, because the one writing your story is the one who sees the entire picture. And He never writes a painful chapter without a purpose. What is meant for you will never miss you. And what is not meant for you, no matter how tightly you hold on, will never stay. But don't be afraid, because the one who holds your Qadr is also the one who holds your heart. And He is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. He is Al-Hakim, the most wise. He is Al-Wadud, the most loving. So take a deep breath. Let go of what's not written for now. Let your heart find rest in His plan, and trust that when the time is right, what's written for you will arrive beautifully, perfectly, peacefully. And until then, stay grounded, stay sincere, and stay close to the one who writes every love story with unmatched wisdom. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs it. Don't forget to subscribe for more spiritual reminders every week. Until next time, stay patient, stay faithful, and know He will bless you.